and welcome in today's video. Mariam here, sharing about how to live a more nourishing, energizing and prosperous life. In today's video, I am sharing with you 3 ways or 3 types of relationship you can choose to create to live on energy more, meaning to have more energy that allows you to move fast, meditate, enjoy life a lot better and a lot easier, and in a way that is more fulfilling and just great, basically. The little trick, or actually the little tip maybe to this video, is the types of relationship I'm going to share about. The 3 types are actually relationships that you create through following 3 rules or 3 advices I'm going to share with you today. Advices as usual based on my own life story. Okay. When I talk about relationships, I actually mean friendship, work relationships and intimate couple relationships. So kind of all those 3 is also linked with, you could add family relationships. All of this is what I would refer as relationships in this video. So whether you're not into a couple type of relationship, or you don't have a family, but you have work and you have friends, you still are concerned. And if you don't work, you're retired, but you are married to someone, or you have kids, or you have a family, or you have friends, hopefully you do have friends, then that video is also for you. Because let's be real, relationships are one of the most draining aspects of life if we choose them to, if we don't know how to handle them and create them in a way that is actually giving energy. So you really want to pay attention to that area of your life if you want to have more energy, if you want to live from it, because if you don't, let me assure you that you are going to lose a lot of energy and liveliness and life force energy basically through your relationships if you don't know how to handle them and to create them in a way that is giving you energy and not the opposite. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the first one. The number 1 way to create relationships that are going to give you tremendous amount of energy is a way that I learned through my cousin. I do have to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this tip with me through your hardship and your hard life experience gained over the years. I truly appreciate. But the first one way is to be friends first. I don't care if the relationship is work, or it's intimate, or it's friends, or it's family, children, no matter who you are dealing with. Be friends first. And this is very key, because if you behave like the other is your friend first, there's things that you will do and there's things that you won't do. And those things that you will or won't do are exactly the things that are going to give you and your other person in front of you, your partner, whoever, energy. And I'm going to give you 3 tips for that one, 3 techniques and their examples straight away. Number 1, being friends first means you actually understand the other person. It actually means you put yourself in the other person's shoes before questioning anything, okay? Before questioning the behavior of the person, before being like, why is this person behaving weird? You don't have those questions no more, because you understand the other person, because guess what? You put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's a very, very big one. I think the day, or I would say the day, but the time I had successful relationships in my life, not really friendships because I was already a good friend, but when I looked at my life and was like, where is it that it's messing up? When I went through those abusive relationships, as they call it, or call them, I realized, okay, why is it that I have this pattern in my life? What is happening? And I realized the way I was behaving with the people where it wasn't really working wasn't the way I was behaving with my friends where relationships were working. My friendship area was working really well, in other words, but the work and intimate couple thing wasn't really working well. And so when I questioned, I realized with my friends, I was behaving like a friend first. I was not being pushy, controlling, wanting the other person to change. I wasn't like that. I was actually loving and compassionate because I was considering the person as a friend, and that's it. Now with work and let's say family, or being in a partnership, like a couple relationship, you have to think a little bit more than friendship. But if you start being friends first, or acting as if you are a friend first, or as if the other person is your friend first, there's so many things that you won't do that are going to save you so much energy and save you so many mistakes, that you are going to say, thank you for that tip, Mariam, or thank you for that video. I don't really want flowers, but I'm just saying that tip is a precious one. When I was considering my working partners and my partner in life as a friend first, things starting to go great, a lot greater. I was like, wow, that's the only thing it took. That's the only thing it took. Because really, with your friends, you are a lot more understanding, you are a lot more compassionate, you listen to them a lot more, you don't share your shit so much, or like not in the same way, you're not nasty with your friends, you actually want to be supportive and kind, and you want to be there for the big times, even if you don't get money. That's how friendship is. I'm not saying if you are working with someone, you shouldn't want to work for the money. But if you are in a working collaboration relationship, and if you consider the other person as a friend first, or that type of relationship and that type of energy, guess what? You are more authentic, you are more genuine, you are more relaxed and smiling, and you are more positive, and you are more like you really want to be, you are more committed as well into the project you are doing together. You are more involved, you are more like, if it fails, you take responsibility just like the other person. Your energy is a lot more favorable, in other words, if you think of the other person as a friend first. Very big one. Another example of being a friend first, and that's a big one, and I think this one is a lot more for women. Let's be honest, we are like so horrible with that one most of the time. But that one, again, when I changed that in my own habits and patterns, still today it's a bit hard, but I'm going to share tips on that on how to do afterwards in this video. But when you change this pattern in you, that we probably all have, especially on the path of living on energy, because we apply this to ourselves, right? Let's be honest. Changing others. Bad. Don't do that. Red alarm. Forbidden. No, dangerous area. Dangerous zone. Don't go in there. Don't try and change others. Okay? In the category, in the part of be a friend first, this is a second point I would highlight. When you are a friend, when you behave as a friend, you don't try and change people. Okay? No matter the relationship again. Work, family, children, couple, sex, whatever, you don't try and change the other person. Actually, this comes from the first point. You understand the other person's behavior because you put yourself in their shoes, you understand their past, you understand their issues linked with their past, or whatever their experiences linked with their past, you understand their genetics because you understand them, you understand why they behave a certain way, and you understand that the behavior is perfect, linked with their life experiences. Therefore, you don't want to change anything because everything is just so perfect. And perfection doesn't mean they shouldn't change or they shouldn't try and improve themselves, but that's not your story. That's their responsibility. Leave the shit people have to deal with themselves. I'm going to share about the shit afterwards. Sorry, it's a bit rude, but may as well use any language that people can relate to. Leave people's karma to their own life. Leave them dealing with their own karma. Leave them dealing with their own cross, like a Jesus Christ type of experience. Let them do their own things the way they want to do. And if they ask you for help and support, be there and say, okay, that's how I do. That's how I would do. That's how I would act in this situation. But you do whatever you want. Let them choose the way they want to live. Don't try and change them. And even in an intimate relationship, even with your partner, your spouse, your husband, don't try and change them. You got them, that's part of your agreement. You got them the way they are. And even though they may have changed along the years, talk to them and say, well, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I appreciate, this is what I don't appreciate so much. And if they choose to change, great. If they don't, you take action. Either you say goodbye, or you live in a different place. You choose your life accordingly, but you can't force people to change, or you can't even tell people to change, really. You can only share to a certain extent. You can only be a friend first. And really, when you understand people, you don't really try and change them. They eat meat, you don't. They do whatever they want. They don't like to do the laundry, do the laundry. They are good at swimming, but they're a bit overweight. Don't try and change them with the health situation. Just enjoy the swimming with them. Basically, you learn acceptance, okay? Also in the work area, if you are with someone who complains a lot or is a bit negative, focus on something else, the qualities, going back to this point later, but don't focus on the thing that you don't like about someone. Focus on what is good about the person. If you are in a work environment, there's a reason why, like working together, there must be something that actually works. Being in a workplace together, but maybe that person is good at figures and you're not so good at it. You need your calculator all the time. Me, Mariam, okay? Example that can apply to me. But if this person is good at calculation, like mental, maybe resolving things mentally that you're not so good at, focus on that and just focus on that one thing, because this is going to give you energy, all right? And focusing on the moaning, complaining, la 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 situation, that isn't going to give you energy. Go away. Okay, number 3 point, when you behave as a friend first. Also a very good one. I mean, all of them are so good, I must say. So good in the sense that they changed my life so much. I feel like now I can handle, I wouldn't say I can handle any relationship, but I'm pretty happy about my relationships. And any kind, I'm pretty happy about my relationship. Well, it's not like, woo, super great every day. It's actually pretty chill and cool, and it makes me happy. Okay. Number 3, expectations. Wow, a big one again. Now, in any relationship, let's be honest, we have expectations. And I think it's very wrong to say, no, we don't expect anything from each other. They can do whatever they want. I can do whatever I want. But then if you don't have expectations, there's no point being in a relationship, because being together means that the reason, expectation basically means there has to be a reason for us to be together in this work project. The work project is the reason. Together as a family unit, the family is the creation, therefore the reason of existence. The family exists because we created it for a reason. If we are into a relationship like husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, there is a reason again. We chose it. So if there is a reason, there is expectations. Basically, yeah, again, expectation is a reason for being together. Because if there's no reason for being together, you won't be together. At some point, people will do their own journey, and that's fine too. May as well be a hermit. So having expectations means you actually know why you are together, whether you have friends to share exercise together, to share cooking together, to share yoga together, to share book, story, reading clubs together, fine. If you are with someone to work together, meaning you actually are focused on generating money together or working for a purpose together, having fulfillment together, working for a cause, a charity, whatever together. If you are doing charity work, even a volunteer, you have the same purpose, which is raising maybe funds for that charity, for that cause you are volunteering for. If you are into a intimate relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, husband, partner, this means that you consciously decide to be together, to share one thing together. I'm gonna share about it in a minute. Did I share that? You are a reason together, like you like each other to some extent, meaning, or you like part of each other, or you like what you can generate together, and that reason means you have expectations. If that reason / expectation isn't there every time you meet that other person, you will have disappointment, because expectations come with possible disappointment. And to avoid a maximum of disappointment means you also lose energy, right? To avoid that, losing energy through disappointment because your expectations aren't met, because the reason you are together is no longer so clear, or no longer available, or worked or given energy to. The whole sentence is a bit long, I know. Then you have disappointment, then you have energy loss. How to avoid that is through being clear, having some kind of agreement in the first place. Agreement can be updated, fine. What I mean by agreement is actually whether it's written or oral. Written is always better, right? But in an intimate relationship, you're not going to write down what you want. I'm trying to imagine some kind of kinky situation where you've been writing down everything first. Why not? Why not? But anyway, if you have an agreement, whether it is verbal or written or both, at least you avoid a maximum of disappointment, a maximum of misunderstanding, a maximum of energy loss. Very important to remember that. For example, a wedding is some kind of contract when you are with someone. Like, you expect the other person to maybe share the money with you, share the tasks with you, share the responsibility over the children with you. That's one type of agreement. If you don't choose to get married, maybe your agreement is actually you don't want to share the financial responsibility, but you want to live with the person. Or maybe you don't actually want to live with the person. That's also part of the agreement. You don't live together, but you share the responsibility of children together. If you are in a work relationship, then you share this amount of money paid this rate, and that's how you do. That's when the project starts and that's when the project ends. For example, therefore, you have a relationship that has maybe a beginning and an end. Fair enough, that's possible too. And maybe can be reconducted, but your expectations are matching what the other person knows. Now, when there's no clear agreement, what happens is misunderstanding. The problem arises when the agreement in the first place is either not clear enough or not respected or changed without letting the other person know. Now, if you do want to change in that agreement, again, verbal agreement is a bit strong, but like, it's kind of a alignment. Should I say alignment? If you do want that alignment to be updated or changed, talk to the other person and say, how about this? Ask an open question and a positive one, and then you wait for the other answer and you discuss about it, and that's it. This way, again, acting as a friend first, you're going to have greater relationships, more fulfilling and nourishing relationships, and your relationships are actually going to help you live on energy more instead of the opposite. Number 2 type of relationship you want to create to live on energy more, meaning to have a more happy, fulfilling life. Now, this is going to sound very spiritual and like spooky for some people, and like